Hi, I'm Jeremy Slager, Executive Director here at Ballet 58, and I am here with lead artist Lorianne Robertson, who will be playing the role of La Llorona in our upcoming performances. So Lorianne, tell me about the character of La Llorona. Who is she, and how do you enter into that character for these performances?
Yeah, La Llorona in the typical myth is who Maria, the main character, becomes. She becomes this ghost that kind of haunts people. In our story of La Llorona, she is embodying postpartum depression. So I am not a real person, I'm a ghost, I'm a spirit, a feeling, and I kind of embody both aspects of what Maria's feeling as well as just the kind of general feelings of postpartum depression.
Yeah, in a lot of the other story ballets, there's usually some sort of villain or there's some sort of like character that's kind of the antagonist.
Yeah.
And yet in this one, it's kind of like La Llorona is a mental health problem. How do you go about portraying it? In a sense, it's a villain, but in a sense, it's something internal as well. How do you bring that presence to the stage?
Yeah, I mean, in some senses, I think it's a little more empowering because it's not just someone gone bad, it's actually real feelings that people experience. And I think that's a driving force in telling the story well, is people really struggle with these thoughts and feelings. They're real things that people experience. And yet, in order to embody that in a narrative and character story type of way, you still kind of have to create a person for La Llorona. What is her motivation? What is her drive? Why does she want to motivate Maria to these things? So in that sense, I feel like I do have to personify her and give her a character and thought process of what her motivation is. And yet still drawing from, people we've spoken with who have told us more details of what it's like to experience postpartum depression. In that sense, it feels really special to kind of embody what the experience is that people are feeling in these moments.
Yeah. When you're portraying a ghostly figure and kind of a manifestation of depression, how do you turn that into movement? So like, what are some of the ways that your character has vocabulary that kind of displays who she is on stage?
Yeah, that's been really interesting to try to portray. So I try not to just walk like a normal person. Most of the time, heel toe, you might see the normal people in the show walking like that. Yeah. I try not to walk like that too often unless I'm trying to personify Maria in that moment. But she kind of moves a lot more slinky and floaty. Like, we've put a lot of vocabulary to her movement styles because there's a lot of moments in the ballet where there is kind of a creative bubble we've created that Miss Juliana hasn't given us a specific step to do in that moment. We're in the back, but a framework to work within. And so we've used words like, we want La Llorona to feel like she's very voluminous, trying to take up a lot of space, that she's very confident, that she is a little bit of a shapeshifter. She's trying to shift the moods of things and manipulate those situations. And then also a contrast of, being both strong and yet everything is like smooth caramel at the same time, because she doesn't actually take up gravity in space. She kind of defies that. So we try to play with also kind of defying gravity in a few moments. There's a moment where I'm carried by a bunch of the men and my foot never touches the floor. I'm always off the ground to kind of represent that, she even overcomes gravity. She doesn't need to deal with that.
Now, when you're on stage and you're dancing with the other cast members and the people who are in the village. Now, off the stage, they're your friends, but then on stage, you are this representation of something so scary. What is that moment like on stage when you as a ghost are staring into the eyes of the villagers?
Yeah. I feel like I don't get as much interaction with just the core in general. I do a lot of that with Maria.
Yeah.
The core actually can't see me.
Okay.
In the story. They don't know. The only person who can see me is Maria. So I actually don't really make eye contact with anyone other than Maria, but they sense or feel me in that sense.
Yeah.
But with Maria, I think it's really cool to, in a weird way, have such a deep work relationship with the people you work with. It's beyond just a work relationship, that's also deeper in our friendship and in our faith, to trust each other, to embody these crazy characters.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really cool thing I get to do with Valerie. You know, she really trusts me to do these crazy things with her, and yet I'm still gonna care for her, and in the moment we are fully those characters, and then afterwards, you know, we get to say hello to what our real names are. Hello Valerie, hello Lorianne, and kind of come back to our actual things. But I think you really do need that kind of deep relation outside of the characters to be able to know and trust the person who's throwing you around the stage or grabbing your neck or whatever these crazy movements that we're doing. And even though it comes across maybe violent or intense in the moment, it comes from a place of like really trusting each other in those moments.
So in which performances will you be playing La Llorona?
I will be playing La Llorona in Minnesota on September 21st, and I will be performing at the Harris on October 6th.
Fantastic. We hope to see you there.